actually. Let's get into the story of how my culinary school journey was. So I got there in June of 2015. I was in June, so there's two intakes. Either you take the February intake or you take the June intake. I was doing a course that was 2.5 years. I know it was very strange. Like, why not 3? I also don't know. Believe you me, I also don't know why it wasn't just 3 years. But anyway. So that's what I did. So initially what they want from you is, like I said, they just want your school results, obviously copies of your ID or all the kind of like just documentation that they need from you. And then, like I said, it's now you and your school fees. At the time when I went there, it was about 159,000 rand. But I always say it was like 200,000 rand because I accumulated so many costs along the way, which I really feel like they should have also just like this exclusive of, you know what I'm saying? Because there's many things that I had to personally get for myself that I needed to have that I was not provided, you know. And it was quite tricky. It was very tricky in that instance. It was okay, like all of a sudden I paid this X amount of school fees, so many other things are coming up, why is it like that, you know? So hey, I was just like, okay, that's how the cookie crumbles, so that's how much the school fees was. But that was at the time. Right now, I think if I've heard right, the school fees is something close to almost like 400,000 rand, 400,000 rand, because these school fees goes up every intake, which is quite weird, you know. So that's pretty much on the financial side, how much school fees was. And then in terms of what you get with your school fees, your uniform, like 2 times, it's on the uniform, so it's pants, chef jackets. I even forgot what the thing is called because I never wore it. There's this neckerchief kind of thing that you need to wear inside, a skull cap. You get a set of knives, which was very underwhelming. That was, for me, I was like, yo guys, you could have chopped off 20k from the school fees, and I went and bought my own knives from like Sharpshooter or something, because the knives were bang average. They were just like, okay, really, is this what I'm getting for, you know? But you get knives, you get a pair of safety boots, and then that covers your course material, so all your textbooks as well as ingredients, so to say, for your practicals. So that's pretty much what school fees covers, you know, which now that I look at it, I'm just like, but also with ingredients, it was also tricky. But hey, I'll get to that a little bit later on in the story. So that's pretty much what you get for the school fees that you pay, the things that, you know, you get for that. And then afterwards, you pretty much intake, you come in, and then for us, we had obviously a 5-day week. Obviously everyone has a 5-day week. We had a 5-day week, and in my 5 days consisted of 2 practical lessons and 2 theory lessons. You know, it's always this thing of, oh, you guys just go to school to cook, yeah. Theory is as difficult as it should be for what we do, you know. In chefing, I'm kind of digressing. In chefing, you get people who cook, and when you get to a certain position, when you get to being an executive, you need all that knowledge that you thought, hey, I'm just going to learn how to cook. You need all that theory. You need, you know, everything, because we have food theory, but you have things like business, you have finance, you have everything. You need all of that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of dispel the myth of, hey, just chefs don't know, we don't go to school to cook only. Everyone who was asking me, do you cook every day? No, I did not cook every day. Okay, I also had textbooks, I also had tests, I also had exams. So, you know, so it consisted of those days, and then we had a test day. Honestly, I think the upside about it all is I had a 5-hour day every day of the week. Not even 5, like a 4-hour day every day of the week, which sometimes I always look at it and think that really was not okay, because that didn't prepare us for the industry that we're going into. You move from 5 hours in class to 12 hours in the kitchen. It doesn't cross. So if ever, I think, culinary schools were to do anything, they need to kind of change, because every culinary school literally has like that, like 4 to 5 hours days, and it's like, hey bro, like that's actually not enough, because like I said, you're moving from 4 to 5 hours a day to like 12, sometimes for others like hectically, and I haven't experienced this as badly as others have, who might even work 16-hour days, you know. So that was my day. It was a 5-hour day. And then yeah, Friday was testing and filing and all that kind of stuff. And then Friday also could be like a 2-hour day, so to say. So our practical is structured in the way that you actually, let me start with theory. So in theory you have different sections of things that you have to do. So theory and whatever practical you do go hand in hand. So for example, if you're doing like rice, grace and free and delicious products, or you're doing poaching, boiling and steaming, for example, your practical is going to go hand in hand with that specific thing, you know. So it's like, okay, your theory is this, then you're gonna make like rice or you're gonna bake something. Then if it's boiling, poaching and steaming, in the week, in the one day, on the Tuesday, because I had Tuesday and Thursday, then Monday and Wednesday theory, on the Tuesday you will boil, I don't know, eggs. Okay, we didn't boil eggs, but so that's the first thing that came to mind. And you'll poach eggs, you know. So you'll boil eggs on this day, you'll poach eggs on that other day. So that's pretty much how theory and things work. And in test as well, you know, if that week is that's what the test is all about, period, you know. And like I was about to say with practicals, the ingredients and all of that kind of stuff, sometimes I'm sitting there like half the recipe. I'm like, how am I halving the recipe when I paid so much money for school fees? Okay, give me the full recipe, I'll take everything home. You know, obviously, yeah, we did take our stuff home and practicals afterwards, but I'm just like, it could have been more. It really could have been more. I just genuinely feel like they liked cutting corners. I'm not mentioning what school I went to, by the way, lest I get like bashed, or lest those who like know what school I went to, great. Those who don't, I'm sorry, but I don't want to kind of like not bash, but like if I say something wrong, and then now like, what if I get sued? Like, you sure, you know? So it's that kind of thing of, I just felt like they were cheaping out on certain things, you know, that we genuinely just needed in class, you know. And sometimes, like I said, it falls onto you to be like, you know what, I'm actually going to start bringing my own stuff because it's not going to help me not to have A, B, and C, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much how culinary school for me was structured. So I did a combination course, which was I'm lying. I did hot and cold pastry. I was supposed to do sugar craft, but I just ended up getting so enough with where I went to school. I eventually just dropped sugar craft and just carried on working and after that. So yeah, pastry and hot and cold kitchen is structured the same way, obviously different practical and all of that, but the structure is exactly the same, nothing changes, you know. And yeah, we write exams for us were 2 times in a year like everybody else. And then if you failed an exam or anything of that sort, you'd have to wait to write exams in the following 6 months, and you would have to pay what the dollar rate, the pound rate is at the time. So I think at the time when I went, it was a thing of, hey, listen, it's 4 point, I think it was 4.5. I think it's something like 4.5 when I was in school. So I don't know how much it would be now during like coronavirus and stuff. But that's how much you would pay for stuff, for exams if you fail them, obviously also if you fail tests, which is very, very strange. If you fail tests, you'd have to pay, I think, twice or 3 times. So if you fail 3 times, so to say, I never got the chance to fail because my parents threatened my life. They're like, you did fail 1 test, it's on you. And I was like, okay, I don't have 350 rand to keep rewriting tests. It's not cute. I'm not going to do that. But if you so happen to fail, I think it was twice or 3 times, I'm not sure, you'd have to pay something. You'd have to pay that 350 that 3 times, and then you'd eventually, like, they'll just let it go, which for me, again, is like, yeah, no, it's like very, very strange. So yeah, like culinary school is like that. There's nothing particularly like exciting about like, it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Let me put it that way. It's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. It was really, I think, with specific things like practicals, I didn't learn something in culinary school. I ended up learning most of the things that I learned in industry, you know. I didn't learn how to, like, you get, for the amount of money you pay, I feel like for some things I was kind of shortchanged. I didn't get a chance to learn how to scale a fish. I learned how to scale a fish on my own. How to cut it like a whole chicken, I learned how to do that on my own. Carving a chicken, carving a duck, you know, I learned all of those things as time went by in a professional industry. And it was always like, oh, I can't do this. What do you mean you can't do this? Like, how do you even know? What? How can you not scale fish? How can you not do this? You know, it's that kind of thing of hectic. You know, there were so many other things that they could have taught us, but they didn't. Because sometimes I felt like they went too basic. I'm like, dude, like, cannot. I'm like, listen, it's like you pretty much. Yes, I know it's like some people can't cook. You're trying to teach everyone basics and all of that kind of stuff, but don't leave out all the more important kinds of things. Because Vela, you need to be able to cut a whole chicken. You need to be able to carve a duck. You need to be able to. Okay, fine, we did learn how to like clean prawns and all that kind of stuff, sure, but that's not enough. You know, you need to learn how to do so many of these other things that like I said, eventually went and learned in industry. I remember going to industry and being told that, oh, you went to that school, I'm going to need to reteach you everything. I mean, I'm going to need you to forget everything so we can kind of reteach you, because the person that was my mentor at the time had gone to the same school, and he's like, in as much as they're good, they just don't teach you things in the best way possible for industry, you know. So I pretty much had to wipe my brain and restart and rewire myself, and I was just like, why would I have paid? So fine, it gave me the opportunity to go to that place, to get that experience. Big ups to that, but it's very disappointing how it was like, okay, after spending so much money, I'm still being told you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, why? You know, that kind of stuff. So I think when it comes to choosing culinary school or anything of that sort, you need to be very, very, very careful. You need to be you need to go in with your eyes open. You need to research. You need to do as much research as you possibly can. You know, for me, it was the one option that not that I had, but it was the one place that I was exposed to in that field. And I was like, since I'm exposed to this, let me rather go to this place. Not knowing that there were so many. There was actually, I remember there was a culinary school right by my house at the time. Not right, but like I could walk there if I wanted to, but I skipped there not knowing that, hey, that's actually, if you went there, you would have come out. I kind of want to just dispel the myth of like, or you do, if you can cook, then you can be a chef, and you don't need to go to culinary school. Why would you go to learn how to cook? Blah, blah, blah. It's not only about that, you know. Being a chef in the industry, you need some of the skills that you learn in culinary school. Like I said, I think more of the educational skills that you learn, because we don't actually have in the country a university where you can go to and actually study a BSc in culinary arts or anything of that sort. So maybe if you go to that kind of university, if you have money, because like also gets very expensive. Like Culinary Institute of America is the culinary field is very expensive, you know, in terms of school fees and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, some of the skills that you need as a chef going along, like if you want to progress, you can't only be able to cook, you need to be able to be smart. You just need to know certain things as well that will help you out in your journey as a chef, you know. Also, in terms of culinary school, it's a base for, you can do way more. I don't think people realize you can do a bachelor's, you can do a honors, you can do a master's, you can even do a PhD in culinary arts if you really want to. It's not all about cooking, because like I said, I think for me, this video also comes as a thing of all the time you get, you're a chef, this, it's like this, so you're like this, so you're not smart, you so no, it's not even that. It's personally, for me as a person, it was a choice, it was a passion, it's something I really wanted to do. But hearing people say that about what you do, not knowing that, hey, first of all, it's very difficult. Not everybody would be able to survive in a kitchen. Sure, you can cook as a person, but can you work in a kitchen? Those are two different kinds of things. So I think I'm digressing, and this is also for another video, like I said, that I'm going to do on the side. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed or have been more informed. If I skipped some stuff, please actually do let me know. Anything, like if you want to know, actually not if I skip stuff, I feel like I did skip stuff, but if you noticeably saw you didn't talk about this, please do in the comments. Let me know, ask me whatever you want to ask me on my socials. You can DM me, and then I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Anyway, I think I will be done with this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Cheers.